Hello dear students and welcome to EduTap. So guys, we're back with another session for NABARD Grade A for the year 2021 for phase 1. So guys, today we are going to practice reading comprehension passages that we discussed yesterday. So guys, I hope all of you are safe, all of you are following the precautions and taking the safety measures. So please stay safe guys and keep on working hard. So guys, if I'm live, just give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear me, and if you can see the video clearly. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Good evening, Sonali. How are you? All right, good job. So guys, today we are going to discuss some difficult passages. So these passages were actually given in some exam in the previous years. So this is exactly the type of passages that will be thrown at you in the exam. So let's begin, guys. So we do remember what we have to follow here. Reverse reading. Remember reverse reading? Reverse reading basically means to read the questions first, figure out the keywords, and then comprehend the passage and get your answers out of it. Good evening, Manish. Welcome to the session. So guys, are you ready? So take out your notebooks, take out your pens, keep on marking down the important keywords, and then quickly find your answers. So shall we begin? Good evening, Pallavi. How are you? Guys, this is the passage, and let's look at the questions first, and then we will jump on to the passage. Right. So the question number 1 is, which of the following is true in context of the passage? So we will figure this one out after we have read the passage. So, right. So we are given 5 statements and we have to find out which of these statements is true. Second question is, which of the following is the central idea of the passage? So we also have to find the central idea of the passage. So there is no keyword here as well. Now, question number 3, which of the following have been the consequences of the recession in Greece? So this is somewhat, of a question, a factual question that we can find our answer very easily for. So we have to find consequences of recession in Greece. So the passage must be based on economy, and I think it talks about recession in Greece. So must be based on economy. All right. Fourth question is, which of the following describes the author's opinion on the crisis being faced by Greece? So again, there is some crisis faced by Greece, which is being talked about. So what is we have to find the author's opinion about the crisis being faced by the Greece. And last question is, with reference to the passage, what does the movement of Mr. We are confusing name hai. Corfoxyliotis. Corfoxyliotis. Okay, Mr. Corfoxyliotis company and his life to Bulgaria convey. So, with reference to the passage, what does the movement of Mr. K's company and his life to Bulgaria convey? So, movement of his company and his life to Bulgaria, what does that convey according to the passage, right? So let's read the passage. So we have to find the central idea of the passage. We have to find one statement. Then the movement of Mr. K's company and his life to Bulgaria, what does it convey? Author's opinion about the crisis being faced by Greece. Then consequences of recession in Greece, right? That is to be found. So let's read the passage and let's try to figure out our questions. So shall we begin? So I'll read it out with you. And let's try to figure out the answers for the questions. So when Pene Giotis Corfoxyliotis, okay, I'll just call him PK here. Confusing sa naam hai. I'll just call him PK. So when Mr. PK set up a business in Athens in 2011, ferrying tourists around by car. So he started his cab business. Right. He hoped to do his bit to help Greece emerge from its deep recession. So when Mr. PK started his business of cab in Athens in 2011, he had hoped to do his bit to help Greece emerge from its deep recession. He says he paid his staff a decent wage and declared all his earnings. So he was an honest person. Unfortunately, the tax man did not repay the kindness. Sharp increases in business taxes have promoted Mr. Korfoxliotis to pack his bags and move his company and his life to Bulgaria. Yes, that was a question. So this is the reason. The sharp increases in business taxes have prompted Mr. K to pack his bags and move his company and his life to Bulgaria. Now he employs drivers to take foreign visitors around that country's tourist spots instead. Now he does that instead of working in his own country. He is part of a growing trend. In recent years, Greek governments, desperate for cash, have sought to squeeze it from companies, despite evidence that this is driving them away to places like Bulgaria, Cyprus, and Albania. The combination of a deep recession and rising taxation. So, the combination of a deep recession and rising taxation has meant that by some estimates, more than 200,000 businesses have closed or in some cases left Greece since then. Between 2009 and 2014, the taxable profits declared by the country's businesses fell by more than 5 billion. That is accurately 5.6 billion to 10 billion. Precise figures are hard to find, but accountants, lawyers, and business people reckon that perhaps as many as 10,000 Greek-owned firms have moved abroad. In a recent survey of 300 firms, Endeavor Greece, a non-profit organization that helps entrepreneurs, found that more than a third had either left or were thinking about going. So the passage is about the crisis faced by Greece due to the sharp increase in business taxes, and the consequences have been that business have moved to other countries. So that's what has been conveyed up till now. Now, so what is the survey says? Venetis, a bakery chain, recently said that because of high taxes and capital controls, it will focus more on opening shops abroad than in Greece. Even if they have kept their Greek operations going, some multinationals have moved their headquarters. Page International, a dairy firm, said in 2012, when taxes started to rise, that it would move its base to Luxembourg. Let's read ahead, guys. कोई नहीं देख रहा साहिब यार, फिर आप यू आर मोर देन वेलकम टू लीव यार. आपको किसने कहा है देखने को यार? जाओ सो चद्दर तान के आराम से एंजॉय. चलो, let's read ahead, guys. That year, Coca-Cola Hellenic, which distributes the American Giant's soft drinks in 28 mostly European countries, moved its base from Athens to Zug in Switzerland. In 2013, via Helco, a metals processor, moved its head office to Brussels. The latter two firms say that the main reason was to improve their access to capital. But Greece's sharp tax rise were hardly an inducement to stay. Other Euro crisis countries such as Portugal and Ireland cut business taxes or kept them low to encourage investment and growth. Portugal's corporate tax revenues are only slightly below where they were as a share of GDP before the global financial crisis. But Greece has raised its corporation tax rate from 20% in 2012 to 29% in 2015, even though international lenders such as IMF will surely have advised against this. Now, Greece's tax rise makes Bulgaria's rate of just 10% even more alluring. Likewise, Cyprus's 12.5% rate and Albania's 15%. The country's neighbors are delighted that it is sending businesses their way. Now, Panagiotis Pantelis, an accountant in Athens, says he has been busy in recent weeks meeting officials from neighboring countries on behalf of clients looking to move out. Now, Alexandrios Zeniatis of Viva Trust, a firm that advises businesses seeking to relocate within Europe, reports similarly brisk interest from Greek companies. The new leader of Greece's conservation opposition, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, has condemned the tax rises on business as counterproductive, but the left-wing ruling coalition is not listening. It is now proposing a 20% rise in a levy on companies' profits that goes towards pensions. Carry on in this vein, and there will not be many businesses or much profit left to tax. So the passage basically conveys the crisis faced by Greece, and this is basically self-induced. The government which is in power has kept on increasing the tax rates over the years, and that has led to most of the I mean a lot of businesses moving to other countries because the other countries are offering less business taxes. So many local companies as well as multinational companies have moved to neighboring countries in the wake of high corporate taxes levied by Greece. So that was the problem, and he has mentioned many examples there, right? So let's try to solve the questions. Question number 1. Which of the following is true in context of the passage? Guys, सभी को आंसर करना है. ये वो नहीं है कि मैं करता रहूंगा आंसर. Everybody will participate. ठीक है? So which of the following is true in context of the passage? Option number A. The Greek government levied unjustifiable amounts of business tax on companies in the face of acute cash crunch in the country due to the ongoing recession in the country. Okay? Despite the imposition of excessive tax by the government on business companies, not a single company migrated to other countries. That's, I think, wrong. Greece, unlike any other European country, has been a victim of European crisis. No, all the countries were facing the crisis. Have been facing the crisis of the slump, economic crisis. That's also wrong. As a consequence of the withdrawal of many companies, the Greek government is busy formulating plans to get the companies back. That's also wrong. And none of the given options is true in context of the passage. Yes, guys. Which do you think is the right option? The Greek government is busy formulating plans to get the companies back. No, there was nothing about getting the companies back. The government is actually planning to rise the taxes further. That was given in the passage. What is the correct option, guys? Very good, competitions aspirant. Very good, Pallavi. Very good, Sonali. Manish. Very well done, guys. It's not D, it's not E, it's A. See, the whole passage says the Greek government levied unjustifiable amounts of business tax on companies in the face of acute cash crunch in the country due to the ongoing recession in the country. That is true in, with regards to the passage. The correct option is option number A. Very well done, Manish. Very well done, Pooja. Good job, guys. Keep it up. So let's move on to question number 2. Which of the following is the central idea of the passage? Okay, let's read out our options. By 2018, the taxable profits of Greece's businesses will fall by more than 20 billion if the government does not control taxation. Was this the central idea of the passage? Let's read further. The only ray of hope for the economically falling Greece is the election of Conservative Party. Okay. Third is the reckless tax imposition on businesses has marred the economy of an already recession hit Greece. Okay. It is time that businesses leave Greece and settle in the neighboring countries if they have to survive. Or the European crisis is the major cause behind the recession in Greece, and given the unfavorable conditions, the steps that are being taken by the government do not have any alternatives. So which is the central idea of the passage, guys? What do you say? Very good, Siddharth. Very good, Dinesh. The central theme of the passage was, it is not time to businesses to leave Greece. I think the central theme was the reckless tax imposition on businesses has marred the economy. That means it has defamed the economy, or it has brought down the economy of an already recession hit Greece. The reckless tax imposition on businesses has marred the economy of an already recession hit Greece. That was the correct answer. Very well done, Dinesh, Priyanshi. Very good, Pallavi, Sonali, Manish, DK, Pooja. Good job, guys. All right. Now, moving further. Yes, guys. Which of the following have been the consequences of the recession in Greece? So which of the following have been the consequences of recession in Greece? So let's read the options, guys. Despite having businesses running in Greece, many companies moved their headquarters to foreign countries. That's true. A large number of companies closed because they were unable to pay the exorbitant taxes. That's also true. Behind the excuse of accessing finance smoothly in foreign countries, many companies moved their headquarters to other countries in order to escape high taxation in Greece. Right? The Greek government, in order to encourage investment and growth, levied unbearable amounts of taxes on companies. Yes, guys. Please read the options carefully. Don't rush into your answers. Read it carefully. Yes, guys. What should be the correct answer here? Don't worry यार, ज़्यादा क्या होगा, गलत हो जाएगा यार, इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Nobody is judging. Nobody knows you here, right? So whatever you feel, yeah, you can put down as your answer. We'll discuss it later on. Competitive competitions aspirant says A, that is first and fourth. Okay. Siddharth says D, very good Siddharth. Sonali says D, very good Pallavi. Pallavi says also says D, very well done. Rest of you guys, Dinesh says all of these are true. Priyanshi also says all of these are true. DK says D. See guys, let me explain it to you now. Now, which of the options are which are the actual consequences of recession? So, despite having businesses running in Greece, many companies moved their headquarters to foreign countries. Example of Coca-Cola Hellenics. Remember? So that is true. A large number of companies closed because they were unable to pay the exorbitant taxes. That's also true. It was mentioned in the passage. Behind the excuse of accessing finance smoothly in foreign countries, many companies moved their headquarters to other countries in order to escape high taxation in Greece. That's also true, because they were getting, they were accessing finance smoothly in foreign countries, and plus they didn't have to pay such high taxes. That's also true. So, and option number 4, the Greek government, in order to encourage investment and growth, levied unbearable amount of taxes on companies. Now, this was correct, but guys, this is wrong. The Greek government, in order to encourage investment and growth, no, to accumulate cash, to accumulate money from businesses. That was the purpose of levying unbearable amounts of taxes. That was the reason. So option number 4 is incorrect. So only 1, 2, and 3 are correct. So correct option here is option number D. Very well done, guys. See, you can score, good marks in reading comprehension if you just pay ample attention to the passage. If you actually comprehend it, then it becomes very easy to answer these questions. All right, moving ahead, guys. Question number 4. Which of the following describes the author's opinion on the crisis being faced by Greece? Okay. The recession is temporary, and given the measures being taken by the Greek government, it wouldn't last long. Okay. Among all the European countries which have been engulfed by the economic crisis, Greece would be the last one to come out of it. Okay. With the hysteric tax imposition on business companies, it would not take much time before Greece runs out of such companies, right? The Greek government must call for financial aids from the neighboring countries which are flourishing with business companies that have abandoned Greece, or the author will not agree with any of these given options. So what do you say, guys? What is the author's opinion on crisis being faced by Greece? Good evening, Aman. Very well done. Yes, guys. So what's the correct option here? What do you say? Competitions aspirant says C. Siddharth says B. Okay. What about rest of you guys? What do you say? Pallavi says B. Sonali says C. Dinesh says E. ऑथर किसी से भी एग्री नहीं कर रहा है. ऑथर का ओपिनियन दिया ही हुआ है उसने. वो तो वर्ड उसी जो वहां पे जो क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा था वो ग्रीक गवर्नमेंट को, वो ऑथर के वर्ड्स ही तो थे. So we can eliminate option number A. That's absolutely contradictory, right? We can eliminate option number D. That's also no. That was not nowhere given in the passage. So out of B and C, the author's opinion was with the hysteric tax imposition on the business companies, it would not take much time before Greece runs out of such companies, and that was given in the last sentence. See. It is now proposing 20% rise in the levy on companies' profit that goes towards pensions. Carry on in this vein, and there will not be many business or much profit left to tax. So, that was the author's opinion. But he feels that with the hysteric tax imposition on business companies, it would not take much time before Greece runs out of such companies. So, correct option was option number C. Got it, guys? And last question of this passage. With reference to the passage, what does the movement of Mr. Korfoxiliotis company and his life to Bulgaria convey? So let's read out the options. Greece is no more business friendly as the government is arbitrarily imposing inordinate taxes. Okay. Mr. Korfoxiliotis will get better opportunities of investment in Bulgaria than Greece. Given that Bulgaria has not been badly affected by the European crisis, it has been one-stop destination for business companies from various countries that have been hit by crisis. Okay, the tax agencies in Greece tricked Mr. Korfoxiliotis into paying unreasonable amounts of taxes. And the last is the recession in Greece threatened the profits of businessmen like Mr. K, who were left with no other alternative but migration. So read the question carefully, guys. With the reference to the passage, what does the movement of Mr. K's company and his life to Bulgaria, what does it convey? Yes, guys. Yes, guys. What do you say is the right option here? Competition aspirant. तभी मैं बोल रहा हूँ वर्ड मतलब ऑप्शन को पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. Recession, was it due to recession that profits of businessmen like K were was challenged? Was it due to recession or was it due to imposing unreasonable tax? That was the reason, not recession. So please read your options very, very carefully. So that says D. The tax agencies in Greece tricked. Now, how did they trick? They did not trick. They clearly raised the taxes. So there was not trickery to pay unreasonable amount of taxes. They were forced to pay. So every one word will clearly, will be the decision maker. Given that Bulgaria has not been badly affected by European, that is also not true. All the countries have been equally affected by the European crisis. But Bulgaria did not impose higher taxes on companies. Option number B, Mr. K will get better opportunities of investment in Bulgaria than Greece. Is that what it conveys? Or Greece is no more business friendly as the government is arbitrarily imposing inordinate taxes. Correct option is option number A, guys. That is what his movement. He opened his business to do his part in Greece, right? But could not run his business in Greece because he could not survive the high taxes. So he moved his company to another company. So this shows that Greece is no more business friendly. So correct option is option number A. Guys, now give me your score out of 5. How many right? How many wrong? Quickly, guys. Quickly give me a score and be honest about it here. Let's see how many were you able to get correct, and we still need to practice further. 3 out of 5. Oh, okay, not bad. Siddharth, 3 out of 5. Pallavi, 3 out of 5. Sonali, 5 out of 5. Very well done, Sonali. Good job. Kudos to you. What about others, guys? The rest of you? DK, Dinesh, Aman, please do share your score here. Priyanshi, Hemanta, please do share your score. So in the meantime, let's move on to the next passage that we have to solve today. It's a big one, but we will try to discuss it and finish it off. So let's read the questions, guys, and let's try to solve it out. Question number 1, why did the US lose its trustworthy role as a negotiator of peace in the Israel-Palestine conflict? So what was the reason behind US losing its role as a negotiator between Israel and Palestine conflict? So we have to find the reason behind that. Second is, how has India managed to remain in the good books of countries like Israel, Palestine, and the US, despite the existing tumultuous relationship among them and other nations? So we have to find how has India managed to remain in the good books of all these countries, despite the hard relationship which is going on among these countries. So we have to find that reason. So we have to find how India has managed to do so. Third is, which of the following reflect the international policy of India with respect to the situation discussed in the given passage? Okay, so international policy of India, we have to find what has been the international policy of India. Next question, which of the statements is true with respect to the passage? We will read the statements after reading the passage. And last is, what is the tone of the author in the given passage? Critical, analytical, acerbic, sarcastic, or objective? Okay. Now let's read the passage and let's try to comprehend it, and let's try to solve it. Priyanshi 3 out of 5, not bad. DK 4 out of 5, good job. Pooja 3 out of 5, not bad. So let's practice further, guys. So this is the passage. Let's read it together. The fact that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Palestine just weeks after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured India demonstrates just why rising powers like New Delhi can play a significant role in building peace between Israel and Palestine and in the broader Middle East. So basically, that's the fact is Indian Prime Minister visited Palestine just weeks after Israeli Prime Minister visited India. So Palestine, I think everybody knows there's been a very long fight going on between Israel and Palestine, right? So this shows that India can play a significant role in building peace between Israel and Palestine and in the broader Middle East. US President Donald Trump's decision to move the US Embassy to Jerusalem irreparably damaged the United States' image as a credible arbitrator or arbiter in the Israel-Palestine conflict. So this says that the Trump's decision to move US Embassy to Jerusalem, now that was the decision that irreparably damaged the US's image as credible arbitrator between the Israel-Palestine conflict. In contrast, rising powers like India are considered acceptable by a broad range of regional players. From a US perspective, the strategic entry of these new countries into Middle East will be increasingly difficult to prevent. The involvement in the peace process of India, a fellow democracy and security partner of Washington, provides a preferable option when compared to other rising powers who may seek to fill the void. So the involvement of peace process of India, so India, which is also a fellow democracy and a security partner of Washington. So this is a win-win situation for the countries to choose India to be the arbitrator between these fighting countries. While Delhi has increased security ties with Israel, it has simultaneously strengthened ties with the Palestinian Authority. So it has increased security ties with Israel, and simultaneously it has strengthened ties with Palestinian Authority. Right. Its friend to all image enabled New Delhi to garner an invitation from Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas to sit on a proposed multilateral forum for negotiations on a peace deal between Palestine and Israel, a role India is increasingly able to fill. See, this is the effect of our interest into these countries. Many assess the pomp and ceremony of Netanyahu's New Delhi visit as evidence of India's increasing proximity to Israel. The public affection reflected New Delhi's strategic interests. Let's read further. The Indian military has relied on Israeli technology on the battlefield. Last year, India and Israel signed a $2 billion deal for an advanced medium-range surface-to-air missile system. Israel has positioned itself as one of India's largest source of arms, with a 7% share of imports into India between 2012 and 16. But while the ideological stripes of the current BJP government and certain security interests mean Israeli overtures are warmly received, there are significant structural factors that drive India to maintain a balanced approach to the Israel-Palestine issue. The rhetoric about dehyphenating Israel-Palestine is an attempt to justify this objectivity to those seeking to pull India into supporting one side over the other. While no bilateral relationship is fully independent of other relationships, counteracting forces acting upon Indian policymakers ensure New Delhi takes a relatively neutral approach. So that's what India has done. India has taken a neutral approach rather than taking bilateral approach, right? Indian policymakers feel that in an increasingly multipolar world, the way to maximize leverage is to make other states work for one's favor rather than have it taken for granted through alliance membership. So it's basically to, it's better to keep other countries in favor rather than taking the alliance membership for granted. Thus, what had previously been promoted as idealist non-alignment has now evolved and been rebranded as realist strategic independence. So this is the new ideology, realist strategic independence. Importantly, India is seen as able to act more independently than many Western states with regard to Israel. This is evident in the fact that when Israel's preferences collide with New Delhi's strategic autonomy, the latter always wins out. So that means India always wins out any in between any preferences, collide of any preferences. Modi's visit to Palestine is a prime example. Furthermore, despite Israel and the United States urging that India minimize its energy and defense ties with Iran, India continues to rely on Iranian oil and engage in defense cooperation. Right. So, despite Israel and the United States urging that India minimize its energy and defense ties with Iran, India continues to rely on Iranian oil and engage in defense cooperation. Modi even visited Iran in 2016, and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani arrived in India this week for his own visit. The rhetoric throughout Modi's trips to Iran and Palestine included references to the depth of ties similar to those heard during the Indian Prime Minister's trip to Israel. Modi's speeches in Ramallah will likely be similarly replete with themes of camaraderie and brotherliness. For global audiences, India projects an image of moderation with regard to its position on Middle East's conflicts, while Delhi has prioritized sovereignty and non-intervention, providing soft-spoken support to countries like Syria and pre-2003 Iraq in opposition to the West. The re-entry of Russia into the region and its robust defense of Damascus makes New Delhi's position more centrist. So this was about how India has played a very neutral role in the Middle East by keeping good relationship with all the countries, neutral relationship with all the countries. Right. So let's try to solve the passage now, guys. So why did the US lose its trustworthy role as a negotiator of peace in the Israel-Palestine conflict? The president's decision to move the US embassy to Jerusalem indicates his hostility towards the Islamic nations. Okay? Trump's decision to move the US embassy to Jerusalem showed that he's biased towards one of the concerned parties. Okay? Trump's decision to move the US embassy to Jerusalem was not considered a welcome move by the global community, or India outdid the US and acting as the negotiator of peace between Israel and Palestine, or all of these are the right options. What do you say, guys? Why did the US lose its trustworthy role when Trump decided to move US embassy to Jerusalem? That did an irreparable damage to the relationship between US and these countries. So what do you say? It was not welcomed by a global community, competitive aspirant, or it was this showed that he's biased toward. No, when he shifted, guys, imagine. So if US embassy was in, let's say, Palestine, and if he moved his US embassy to Israel, let's say, so that means he's showing biased intention towards one of the countries. So the correct option here was option number B. Trump's decision to move the US embassy to Jerusalem showed that he's biased towards one of the concerned parties. That is the correct answer here, guys. Very well done. So good job, Siddharth. Very good, Priyanshi, Dinesh, Sonali, DK, Shweta, Pallavi. Good job, guys. Next question. How has India managed to remain in the good books of countries like Israel, Palestine, and the US despite the existing tumultuous relationship between them and other nations? So let's read out the options. India has maintained an amicable but diplomatic relationship with these countries and has kept its geopolitical position neutral to avoid hostilities. Okay. India's global economic position at the present time is at rise, and despite ideological differences, the globe does not want to create differences with her. Since India has established strategic partnership with all the countries, her geopolitical ideologies do not make much difference for the concerned authorities. Indian Prime Minister has favored the ideological stand of each of the countries during his visits to the respective nations, or none of these. What do you say, guys? Very well done, competitions aspirant. Very good, Shweta. Yes, guys, what should be the correct answer here? Very good, Siddharth. Very good, DK. Oh, that's correct. India has maintained an amicable but diplomatic relationship with these countries and has kept its geopolitical position neutral to avoid hostilities. That is the central theme of the passage, actually. That was the reason. Very well done. Good job, Pallavi, Priyanshi, Sonali, DK, and Dinesh. Very well done, guys. Moving ahead, guys. Question number 3. Which of the following reflect the international policy of India with respect to the situation discussed in the passage? Okay. Let's read the options. India carries a sycophantic attitude and pleases every country it wants to establish a strategic partnership with. Sycophantic is basically pleasing others, apna ullu seedha karna, right? That's sycophantic attitude. Second is pursuing a neutral bilateral strategy. India has established itself as ideologically neutral and strategically aligned with all the countries. Okay. In order to make itself agreeable to the global community, India has recklessly established geopolitical relationships while overlooking the imminent danger of facing severe opposition by the concerned authorities. No. India voices for the right and carries a policy of interference, or cannot be concluded from the passage. So, what has been the international policy of India? India has recklessly established geopolitical relations, and we are overlooking the danger of facing severe opposition. That is nowhere given in the passage here. This is also wrong. Pursuing a neutral bilateral strategy, India has established itself as ideologically neutral and strategically aligned with all the countries. India carries a sycophantic attitude and pleases every country it wants to establish. No, I think correct answer is option B. Pursuing neutral but bilateral strategy, India has established itself as ideologically neutral and strategically aligned with all the countries. Very well done, guys. Option was option number B. Moving ahead, guys. Question number 4. Which of the statement is true with respect to the passage? Okay, let's read the statements. Donald Trump, through his unilateral move, has widened the gap between Israel and Palestine. Okay. The policymakers of India believe that to intensify the global grip is to have other nations work for one's favor. Okay. Unlike many Western states, India does not act in the pressure of its alliance. The usage of Iranian oil being an example. Okay. It is believed that ideological stance of the present government influences India's relationship with Israel, and or all of these are correct. What do you say, guys? Let's see who gets this one correct. Very well done, Sonali. Guys, Donald Trump, through his unilateral move, has widened the gap between Israel and Palestine. That's true. His action of moving his embassy to Jerusalem, remember? Second, the policymakers of India believe that to intensify the global grip is to have other nations work for one's favors. That was also given. That is also correct. Unlike many Western states, India does not act in the pressure of its alliance. The usage of Iranian oil being an example, that was also given. And absolutely correct. It is believed that ideological stance of the present government influences India's relationship with Israel. That's also true. So all the options are correct, guys. So the correct option here was option number E. Got it? The correct option was option E. All of these are correct statements with respect to the passage. B is absolutely correct. The policymakers of India believe that. Okay, I'll show you where it was given. This is, I'm underlining the sentence here, guys. Indian policymakers feel that in an increasingly multipolar world, the way to maximize leverage is to make other states work for one's favor rather than have it taken for granted through alliance membership. See, that was given. So, correct option was all of these is the right option. Very good, Sonali. Very good, Priyanshi. Very good, Pallavi, Shweta, very well done. This was a tricky one because we always intend to find out the best option. But if you see all of these are correct, then you also have to look at that option as well. And last question, guys, what is the tone of the author in the given passage? Is it critical, analytical, acerbic, sarcastic, or objective? Yes, guys. So what was the tone of the passage? Acerbic is sour or bitter in taste, kadwahat bhara. That is acerbic. Uh, Critical is when situation is very critical. Analytical is when you are analyzing something. Acerbic is very sour or full of illness, full of bad feelings. That's acerbic. Sarcastic is to criticize, and objective is to mention a point. So what do you say, guys? Very well done, guys. So the tone was analytical. The author was analyzing the actions taken by Indian policymakers and Indian government to build up the relationship and what has US and other countries done for the same. So it was analytical. Very well done, guys. So now give me a score out of 5. Yes, guys, quickly tell me your score and be honest about it. And guys, I'm also giving you a homework passage. This is your homework passage. You can get the PDF of this passage, and there are 5 questions based on this passage, and you can get the PDF in the Telegram group. If you've not yet already enrolled in that group, you can find the link in the description of this video, guys. Please join the Telegram channel, Telegram group, and you will regularly find all the PDFs given there. So to solve this as a homework, please refer to that PDF, or you can also watch this video again, and you have to give me the answers of these questions in the comment section of this video, guys. Not now, later on. All right, Priyanshi, 5 out of 5 here. Good job. Shweta, 5 out of 5. Kudos to you. Pallavi, not bad. 4 out of 5. Sonali, 5 out of 5. Good job. Competitive aspirants, 3 out of 5. Not bad. DK, 3 out of 5. Not bad. Guys, I think now we've understood how to tackle reading comprehensions, even if it seems difficult. It's logical to read the questions first and be very take this elimination of choices as an approach, that you always eliminate the wrong options, and whenever you are left, whichever options you are left with, then choose the apt option. That is the best way to solve this. Take a session on different kinds of tones in the passage. Siddharth, okay, I'll explain it to you. Don't worry, Siddharth, I'll explain it to you. That's for sure. No, you just have to understand the way what author wants to convey, and if you can put it in a word, I'll explain it to you in the next session, right? Objective is when you are talking about a particular object, a particular topic. When you have only one, only and only one thing that you have in mind, and you keep on writing about that. That's what we call an objective tone. All right. So objective is unbiased, or undistorted by emotion. That's also objective. So emphasizing on expressing things perceived without distortion, or without using personal emotions into this. That is objective, right? So without writing any emotions or anything personal or any opinions, that's what we call an objective approach. All right, guys. So it was not objective, Sonali, because there were so many deductions made by the author that due to we can look at a visit of Indian Prime Minister going there and their Prime Minister coming here. So this was not objective. This was actually analytical. He was analyzing the actions of the governments of different countries, and that's how you decide, right? NABARD RC was so lengthy. I know competition aspirant, it was quite lengthy. So we will prepare for that as well. But let's start working towards getting accuracy first, and then we will work towards efficiency, right? Here we are analyzing a situation. Absolutely, Shweta, very well said. Good job, Sonali. The options were negative. That's true, Pallavi. So, guys, you have to solve the passage and you have to give me the answer of the homework passage in the comment section of this video. Got it? Guys, how was the session? कैसा लगा आप सबको session? Was it useful? Was it fruitful? Please do share your feedback with me. और अगर अच्छा लगा तो यार like कर दो. अच्छा नहीं लगा तो dislike भी कर सकते हो. No issues. ठीक है, लेकिन अच्छा लगा तो like कर दो, share कर दो यार. पता नहीं किसको help मिल जाएगी शायद इससे. Right? Thank you so much, guys. And if you wish to inquire about any of our courses, please feel free to contact us on this number 81462 07241, or you can also drop us an email at hello@edutap.co.in. And this is our website www.edutap.co.in. So thank you so much for joining in, guys. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, competitions aspirant. Thank you, Pallavi, for the kind words. Thank you so much, guys. And I wish all of you deserve this job, deserve this opportunity. So give it your best. And guys, at the same time, please stay safe, stay healthy. And please beware of the COVID-19 situation that's rising once again. Guys, stay healthy, stay safe, and happy learning to all of you guys. Next class would be on next Thursday, competitions aspirant. So English classes are on Thursdays and Fridays, guys, 7 p.m. This was moderate level passage. Okay, I'll try to. इससे डिफिकल्ट तो यार फिर वो यूपीएससी वाले पैसेजेस हो जाते हैं. Next class, I think we'll start with grammatical topics. So we should also focus on grammar. So we've already covered rearrangement, close test, and reading comprehension. So this was the biggest chunk. Now we will focus towards grammar a bit, vocabulary a bit, and then we will come back to rearrangement and reading comprehensions at the end of this series, right? For example, is rearrangement of sentences, competition aspirants. We did that, I think 3 lectures before, today. So you can find that session in the playlist of this video, right? So guys, thank you so much for joining in. Take care and have a good night and happy learning to all of you.